Hey YouTube, it's ICU and welcome to the 84th episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors. To preface this episode, I just wanted to say that I'm primarily going to focus on the two major jailbreak updates from Pod2G this week. So just 2 days ago, on Wednesday, April 18th, Pod2G actually tweeted out a status update for the iOS 5.1 Untethered Jailbreak, which is assumed to include support for the two A5-based devices being the iPhone 4S and the iPad 2, as well as the new A5X-based iPad. Now he said that they, and I quote, have all exploits required to do a new jailbreak, and that he would set to work to bypass the ASLR at boot up. Now that was the first major update, and that was extremely good news because that is at least half the battle, if not more, trying to find all of the exploits for the different devices that you plan to include in the jailbreak utility. And thankfully Pod2G and all the other iOS security experts that he has been collaborating with when creating this jailbreak have actually found all of the exploits that they need to perform this jailbreak. Now early this morning, Pod2G tweeted out another update saying that ASLR has been successfully bypassed. ASLR, or Address Space Layout Randomization, is a computer security method, and introduced in iOS 4.3, ASLR has, if nothing else, been a setback in the creation of current jailbreak utilities. Now, even with these two updates, unfortunately, we don't have a set release date as of now, so just be sure to stay tuned to my website, Best Tech Info, and to this series, Best Tech Info and Rumors, and just my YouTube channel in general, to stay covered on all of the latest iOS 5.1 jailbreak news. And of course I will provide a tutorial once the iOS 5.1 Untethered Jailbreak is released. Now, according to a report from ET News that cites industry sources, the next generation iPhone, they're calling it the iPhone 5, could take advantage of liquid metal technology, and they're actually suggesting that it will be unveiled at this year's WWDC and released shortly thereafter. Now, in August of 2010, Apple acquired the rights to amorphous metal alloys from Liquid Metal Technologies, and shortly after the acquisition of the patent, Apple was found hiring engineers to actually work with the different metals that the patent encompasses. If this type of technology is used, it could definitely slim down the profile of the next generation iPhone, making it lighter and also making it more resistant to external impacts. So say you drop it, if it does feature this technology, it won't have as much of effect on the device as if you were to drop, let's say, an iPhone 4S without this type of technology. But then again, ET News hasn't had the best track record when it comes to reporting on Apple rumors, so it's probably best to remain at least partially skeptical of the reports of an iPhone 5 with liquid metal technology scheduled for a June release. Also, Qualcomm, the company that manufactures the 3G and LTE chips that Apple uses in their iPhones and carrier-enabled iPads, is actually having trouble keeping up with the demand and producing enough chips to supply for all smartphones and tablets. Now, the manufacturing shortage is expected to extend through the remainder of this year, and they're trying to do everything they can to pump more money into producing additional chips and to try and manufacture as many chips as they possibly can in a short amount of time to, again, keep up with the demand. And in light of Qualcomm's heavy load and unusual shortages, multiple analysts are suggesting that there's no way the next generation iPhone will be able to be released this summer, like some sources, in this case ET News, are suggesting. So while we have two different reports here that contradict the release date of the next generation iPhone, we'll just have to wait as the situation progresses. But again, just be sure to stay tuned to my website and to this series for full updates on the next generation iPhone. Now, moving on to something that I usually don't cover, the popular game developers behind the legendary Crysis series actually released a CryEngine 3 update for developers. Now, this update is extraordinary, and it definitely brings some next generation console graphics to the SDK, and I've got to say that the demo video that they put together is absolutely amazing. If you want to check it out, then be sure to go to the post that's down below in the more info, and it also details the future of gaming, and it gives a brief glimpse as to where things could be heading. Also, for video game related news, Blizzard's Diablo 3 is actually free to play for basically anyone that wants to play who signs up. Now, the game actually isn't released right now, it's just an open beta weekend event. Diablo 3 is set to release on May 15th with a $59.99 price tag here in the United States. And if you want to jump on the action now and explore the catacombs of the Diablo 3 realm, then just be sure to hit up their website. I'll have a link to it on the post that's down below. Now, something that I found interesting was actually the report of smaller Apple stores actually appearing inside of Walmart locations. Now, apparently a Walmart in Arkansas is actually home to the first miniaturized Apple store to actually operate inside of a Walmart. And it's presumably just a test to see how it fares in this location, nation and with the clientele that Walmart attracts. And if it does well and if it's successful, then the concept is expected to spread to all Walmarts throughout the nation. Also, 2 new iPhone 4S commercials that are centered around Siri aired the other day, and they feature 2 celebrities, one of which being Samuel L. Jackson, and it was assumed that these 2 different commercials were from AT&T and Verizon because they didn't appear on Apple's YouTube channel for a while, and at the end, instead of actually just having the Apple logo and saying iPhone 4S like previous ads, one actually said Verizon and the other one said AT&T. However, about a day or so later, Apple actually posted the 2 advertisements on their official YouTube channel, and instead of having the Verizon and AT&T logos at the end, they did update them with their own graphics. Now, Apple released a standalone tool the other day to combat Flashback. For those of you that don't know, Flashback is basically the major security threat to OS X that's been in the news a lot recently, that is available through the software update function that's found in the Apple menu on all Macs. And while the new tool does remove the same variants of the malware that the update does, this one actually does not rely on Java. So OS X users with Lion installed that don't necessarily have Java installed can purge their Macs of any Flashback malware variants that might be infecting them. And if you're unfamiliar with the Flashback malware or you want more information on it, just be sure to check out the post because there's a lot of detailed information there. And finally, Verizon did announce that they will be rolling out shared data plans in the middle of this summer. And the concept actually has some useful and logical applications, and it might actually better suit multiple customers on a single policy to have a shared data plan than actually having a single plan per device. If you want more information on that or anything else I discussed in today's episode, just check down below in the more info. Don't forget to rate this video up if you liked it and hit that subscribe button to be notified every time I release a new video. If you want to be updated more often, just be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and add me to one of your circles inside of Google+. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.